Hello, I am the PS2 Music here, and today I get to talk about my song called When the Last Petal Falls. Um, it's a really elegant and dark piece that I composed actually for the Halloween season, but I'm just now getting around to recording a video about it, so that happened. But yeah, after this is done locking. Uh, Freezing all the tracks so that it doesn't glitch out in the middle of its performance. Then we'll just take it track by track like we usually do for all my other videos, and then uh, we'll listen to it first, and then we'll take it track by track like we do all the rest of my videos. So almost done here, and here we go. And that is it. Oops. That is when the last petal falls. Okay, so let's just go ahead and jump straight into it. So we got this is actually pretty, I want to say pretty basic, but it's a pretty not that many tracks. Obviously, it's pretty what's the word? Not basic. Nah, I'll figure it out sometime. Okay, so it starts out with starts out with my first violins doing their track here. Their legato line. And slowly getting louder until, they stop it. And it finally goes into okay, and then they have the melody here. The second half of the melody. Way over here. So they're just accenting, like just accenting very much. Oh, and then they have their drop here as well, so that they have a little bit of a rise. Oh, my phone. Okay, so then we have second violins. So there's two second violins. I'll just put them together. Really. Okay, we're done. Okay, so we have two second violins because one is my tremolos patch. Oops. Which they all look like this. So, tremolo, staccato, sustain. Those are the three patches I'm using. But they're just the ambience, especially when you get to right here. They're just the ambience in this line, and then here. They're doing the low woodwinds, of course. So that is pretty much for them. For the staccato line. Then they have another tremolo section right here. Again, they're just really bringing out the ambience. We're just kind of. I'll be able to show it to you when I get further down the track list. See what the difference it really makes with and without them. Okay, so we have our first cellos. They play this same line. They slowly grow into it. And for this, I'm using Albion 3. So again, bringing out that line and just really, just making it really big right there. And then they have this legato line. Pretty sure they just repeat this. Yep. So then just makes it bigger with the first violins. So this piece is really broken up into, I want to say, four parts. The first part being, the intro, obviously. It's kind of like it just kind of like sets the tone and sets like the dark and sad mood. This part, this big, probably the biggest section, section B, um, is probably I want to say like it's almost it's almost like you're coming across this dark and mysterious place. That's basically what um, uh, B. So in A sets the mood. B kind of throws you in and it just puts everything into place and really kind of energizes the piece. And then part C, we have this dance, which is with the music box. But this dance. And since it was Halloween, it was a dance between ghosts, and it was just very, very beautiful. And then this last part is kind of when the last petal falls, and the last petal pretty much happens when the last petal falls. Totally make the story up, by the way. The last petal falls basically um, Halloween ends basically, and then all of the so if you envision like a play or a ballet or a movie. So you basically have these three parts, these four parts, and the last part is basically everything going back to sleep, all the ghosts going back to sleep, pretty much, kind of like a Tim Burton film, which is kind of what it sounds like. So we have this very saddening cello, like it's just very dramatic and very like obviously sad, and the piano and the bass line just really bring it out, but it's very saddening, and very endings like it's over, like their dance, the lovers dance is over, pretty much. That's what the dance is about between two lovers. um, so kind of like the my envision in my story in my head. Okay, so now we have our basses, who are very much staccato in this first part, so part A, and they just really bring attention and attitude to the piece. Um, they have their little their shut up. So they're very, very like then bringing in second cellos, just kind of this dark line. So it's a very sad chord progression to begin with. I mean, it's not happy to begin like at all. And it just grows and grows and grows and grows and grows. And then we get this fall. Very like depressing. And then we have the drop and the rise again, which just makes it more cinematic and climatic. Then we have our bass line here, which again is a thing that kind of keeps the first cellos very sad, I guess, and dramatic. But it just goes between two notes, it looks like. And then it grows again, just giving it that feeling of remorse, I guess you could say. So putting them together. So just very like, sad, very dramatic, which is, then it grows, bass line. is pretty cool. Now we finally get to the epic low woodwinds, which actually is what I based the whole entire song on. I was just, playing around, composing, and I just found the which is a compromise of triplets, and it's just awesome. So again, the basses kind of play with each other. So the low woodwinds for the bite, and the basses for the sound, like for the warmth. And they grow, I believe. Yeah, you can already kind of hear it. It's in the tone of it already. Let's see. So if you want to see the score, all triplets. Woo! Yeah, for triplets. Triplets are so much fun to play with. I believe modulation. Yep. But they play this line over and over again. And then oh, that's what it was. The way they play is harder, so they get really big right here. And it's just like just very energetic, those triplets. So it was just so much fun because that's how I originally built the piece around the woodwinds, which is just fun. You got to start somewhere, and I started with that line and built everything around it. Now we have our sweet lady choir, female choir, whatever. Their legato is just beautiful and just kind of and to make it bigger, we added the first violins. So it just kind of widens out and just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Because then you have the strings come in, and then the bell. So it just right here, it just gets really big. And that's about all they do. But they just bring. Why I use the choir is because they have this warmth, but they have this eerie sound as well, that they really add to the piece, which is what I was in need of and looking for. Now, one of my favorite parts is the music box, which is the dance piece. So, 2, 3, 4. All compromise of chords. Which is super fun to play. So, if you can see that very well. And then I take the left hand and start playing eighth notes and go up an octave with the chords. So it's very it's very luscious and sweet, a little sad. It's very enchanting. Kind of sound, very lovely. It just kind of ends, and that's the piano kind of takes that from there. But the music box was just so much fun. I actually took the music box from. I can take this one from. What's it called? Evolve Mutations. Could read. Evolve Mutations music box and foils. Their sound is really cool. But that's what the Unreal does, which is kind of nifty. But I just love the sound, and of course the echo and the delay that it has to it. It just made it very. This made it very eerie sounding. Alright, so now we have, I guess you could show you, now that I have all the pieces, what the second violins do. Okay, let's do that before. So we have, oh, shut up. Sorry, the email keeps going. So this is just the, not percussion obviously, but the, still sounds good, but like you're kind of missing something that you just want something there. Okay, really. So you have these. It just really creates this atmosphere, and it just really like brings everything forward a little bit because it's so far back. But really just really plays with that. It really sounds cool. I say really a lot, but that's okay. Happens. I'll say something. Okay. So this is my high piano. Which, let's figure out where I pulled this guy from because I know it's different. This I pulled from the Giant, but having a lot of resonance on it, making the tone very huge and like the echo of that is very like very big. Sounds very eerie. Okay, then I start bringing in the so that obviously it does the woodwinds, but it creates this sound. And this huge room of echo that just kind of spreads into the rest of the song, which I thought was really, really cool, and it just adds so much. And then I'll show it to you with the low percussion because that's really cool when it gets to that. And then in part B, it actually plays the same line, it looks like. But again, adding that eerie sound. It just has so much like space. Which is really nice, and especially for a piece like this that needs that kind of creepy, eerie space to it. And then I add another note just to keep that space going for a long time while we get into the dance section. And then it looks like we use it again over my low piano section, which actually should just be a different colored piano, but not colored, named piano, but I decided to do low piano instead. But again, it has that sound, that eeriness. And here we're playing with these chords with the first cello and the basses and second cello. And then this is when the last petal falls. Boom. That just this falling line. Falling line. And it's just beautiful. And then we have our low piano, which is most of the chords. Right, so that helps with the basses and cellos. But again, just a very saddening sound. And especially that last chord is just big. And I think this is a different piano from that because it needed to be a little, soft there. So this one is in a studio small, where compared to this one is resonance. But both using the Giant because the Giant is probably the best piano library I have, and just like the space on this one compared to this one is just very different, which is cool that I can be able to use the same piano to have different sounds. So this is the dance section, section C. It finally feels happier, like it has more happier chords and just has a happier line to it. And I believe that's an G. plays these chords with this guy. And this is complementing it. So we have both the pianos playing at the same time, but they're not playing the same line. They're very much complementing each other and kind of intertwining with each other, which is really fun to do. But again, it still has like that eerie sound to it, but it's just more present than the other piano is. All right, now we have our pad, which this is all about sound and ambience, obviously. Just creates that sound. It's just whew, shrivels, goosebumps, whatever. But it really just yeah, that piece just goes through the whole thing. That really just gives it life. Then we finally get into percussion, which I see percussion as very an add-on, not necessarily a stick. Doesn't usually stick out in my music a whole lot, but it very much, you know, propels the piece forward. Especially the way I use cymbals in this piece, that just gives it that grandiose feel of epicness. So I use the cymbals a lot, and then actually I use a different. I start using ride cymbals here. With the dance piece, the dance portion, and then I get into eighth notes, I believe, or quarter notes. So that's pretty much my cymbals. Then probably my favorite piece is my mid and high percussion, because this is low woodwinds all the way. I guess I'll put low percussion with this too. But my low percussion in this is very much a huge round piece, because especially like in the beginning, it has that very huge howl sound that, you know, when you add this together, it just goes. So it's just very big and spacey, which is nice. Wait. What does it? So yeah, the stick's so much fun. Then I'm gonna get into some. Oops. So again, like the percussion just really drives the piece forward, and then adding just the sound of the bass drum here just really pushes this forward. So we have our intro, which is again really sets the stage for what's gonna come, and you have the staccatos and the basses and the. And it finally puts you onto the scene. It's no longer the rolling credits or whatever you want to call it, but it finally brings out people, and you can just see it going through. But then when we finally, reach the climax of where everything is. Just see how the percussion just adds that little bit, just to continue to drive it. And then we have our low strings very just bring it out, and everything's kind of getting bigger now. So we have our first violin song, curving over the top of the melody, and then we hear our strings coming. And we have a rise. And we finally see our two lovers. And we see them dancing. Or at least the lady is dancing first. But just you hear this sound of the pad just very slowly in there. Then we hear a cymbal every once in a while. It just kind of gives it an extra oomph. And then we get more grandiose into the dance. And we hear the piano play. And the cymbals. And then we have everything kind of fade away. Kind of see like them starting to disappear or whatever. It's all sad and emotional. But they just kind of start to cease to exist. And then my email decides to show it. Oh well. And then that last bass drum just very marks the ending. And then it all falls down. And it touches the ground. And that is the last pedal falls. Well, thanks for watching. Rate, comment, like, subscribe, and have a great rest of your day.